Hi everybody, welcome to Crochet at the Lantern, and this week I'll be showing you how to make a solid granny square for our beginners tutorial, and keep an eye out at the end of the week for the tutorial on how to make a simple Easter egg for yourselves over the coming Easter break. So take out your hooks and your wool and get crocheting and keep practicing, and I hope you enjoy it. Hi everybody, today we are going to make a new square, and this is called a solid granny square, okay? So it's the same technique starting off as our basic granny square, which we've mastered a couple of weeks ago. This little one here, okay, and it's all trebles again that we'll be using. So this was the basic granny square, which got us started in our beginners tutorial. And this is a solid granny square, okay, and it's very simple to do. Okay, so I'm going to move it out of the way, and it's all treble crochets, which you're familiar with by now. And again, we're going to always start with our slip knot. So I've been showing you how to do the slip knot the way I make it, which is pretty much put the yarn up around your finger and I draw it through a loop on my hook, okay, which is very quick and easy, and we all have our own way of making a slip knot. And there's another simple technique that I'd like to show you today. So you just have your tail and you bring it up over your finger like so, like this, and you cross it over so it looks like this. And then you have the yarn, I'm going to put down the hook there, and you bring it up around till it looks like this. So this is another quick way of doing, and then slip it over like so. It makes a little slip knot that way, and then you can pop your hook on that way. So you can practice that if you want, okay, or whatever way has been working for you is perfectly fine. So to get started, we chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And into the first chain, so you have 4, so into the very first one we are going to make a little loop with a slip knot, draw through your yarn, draw through your yarn, and we've closed that with a slip knot, and we've created a little loop there with our 4 chain. And this is our tail now that we will crochet in as we're working around. So chain up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this will act now as one treble. So the first 3 chains will act as a treble for us in each round. And then the last 2 chains will be our first corner here. And then you'll see it as the rounds increase, how it's working out, okay? So then in here, we're going to make 3 treble. Yarn around your hook through 2, through 2. Okay, and you should be, after mastering the treble now, with these couple of tutorials that we've been doing the last couple of weeks. So we've been using the treble a lot, looking back on the last few weeks. So yarn around your hook, in you go, excuse me, yarn through your hook, draw through, I have 3 loops, yarn around through 2, and yarn around through 2, that's 2 treble. And all the while I've been crocheting over the tail, okay, and it just secures it nicely for you, so you can snip it off if you want to, and you don't have to worry about it then. So now, just a little recap. So we chained up 5 to start, then we put 3 treble into the circle or your loop that we made, and now we're going to chain 2. This is another corner that we're creating. In we go again, hold on to your tail, 3 more treble, 1. Second there, now I'm getting knotted. So I have another one, yarn around, in I go again, 2 treble, yarn around my hook, in I go, crocheting over my tail, 3 loops, through 2, yarn around through 2. So that's 3. So that's another set. Chain 2, acts as another corner, and you'll see in a second there, you can see them already, the corners being formed with our chain 2 space. Yarn around, in I go, make another 3 treble, yarn around, in I go, and I'm crocheting over that tail all the time. Yarn around, in I go, yarn around through 2, yarn around through 2. I have another 3, and 1, 2 is going to make the last corner, so I can put that little tail away now because I have that nice and secure. So this is where we are now from our starting chain 5, okay? So when we come back here, we only need to make 2 treble, because remember at the start I said the first 3 chains of this acts as a treble. So you'll see it here now. So I have 3 treble, 2 chain, 3 treble, 2 chain, 3 treble, 2 chain, and now I only need to put 2 treble, and you'll see when we close this round why we only need 2 treble here. So after that, after this round, you don't have to worry too much about making sure that you have the 2 treble here, because once you get it at the start, it'll be easy for you. Okay, so to close it, and for this to act as our treble, we are going to crochet in, slip stitch into the top of the 3 chain. 1, 2. So if you can't see them, okay, it might have twisted a little bit for you. So if I hold it out there, okay, hold them flat for yourself and then just count up. Okay, or if you're having difficulty counting from the bottom up, you can count from the top back. So that's 1, 2. So we know we have to go in here. Okay, because those 2 chain, and you're just going to go in and you're going to secure it with a slip stitch. Okay, and it closes it for us. So you can see that clearly there now. Okay, when we put the 2 in here last, this acted as our treble, and it's going to do the exact same thing for you. No, so we're going to continue on in our second round there now. So I just went back a little bit there because I had gone out of focus when I was starting in the next round. So just to make it clearer again, so we chained up 3 and we are starting in our corner with our 2 treble, 1, 2, 2 chain into the same space. We're going to finish the corner, and that's 2 treble. So you'll see clearly here now, every corner from here on in. Okay, this is the 3 chain that started our round for us, and that will be the same in every round. You'll see that again clearly in the next round. 2 treble, 2 chain, 2 treble in each corner. But to get over to the corner and to make it a solid granny square like this, so this is our starting, this is where we're at now. Here we did our 2 chain, and we did another 2, and now we have to work across to the next corner to start. So the solid granny square closes in that gap, and you're going to be working into the top of your trebles. And it's very straightforward, okay, because you can see your trebles clearly. So if you look, if you can't see them this way, okay, your stitches like here, here and here, count them 1, 2, 3. If you open that out, you have 3 of them in each corner or in each block around, okay. So if you can't see them this way, you can always see them when you look down on your stitches. 1, 2, 3, okay, and that'll get you over then to your next corner. So in I go to the top of it with a treble, and it's trebles the whole way again now. And this is the beauty of a granny square. It works up quickly because we're working in trebles mostly anyway. Okay, and finish that. So, okay, can you see how it's making it solid block? And now we're around in the corner, and we're going into the corner, and every corner is the same. You have 4 corners, and in each corner it'll always be 2 treble, 2 chain, 2 treble. Okay, now, and I'll work around again just to make it clear for you, and then you can continue on your own till we get, this just doesn't want to close out for me, 2. Okay, so there we have our corner again. Now we're back to the next block, so we have 2 more corners left till we come back around to closing this round. And again, open them out if you can't see them clearly. 1, 2, 3. So there's the top of it. 1, and be sure that you go into that one, because when this is sitting like that, it's quite easy to miss that treble. Okay, and that just throw your work off. Then you'll see it anyway by the time you're finished that you'll have gone askew. And just don't miss that stitch. And if you can't see it looking down on it, look that way and make sure you get the 1, 2, 3. Okay, the 1, 2, 3 brings you to the corner. So in we go here, draw through, around through 2, around through 2, and off we go into the next one, just making regular trebles, okay, into your stitch, the top of it. And here we are back. So look, if I hold that out, you can see that I've worked into 1, 2, 3. In I go to the next corner, doing the exact same thing, and again work to here, finish your corner, work across, make another corner, and then I'll show you how to join here again back to the start of the chain 3. Okay? See you then. Okay, so here we are now back to close the round, and to close it we have to work across these trebles to close it at the top of that 3 chain. Okay, so we'll have 2 trebles to work into here because this is already used. If this is making sense, I think just trying to explain it as simple as I can. So we have 3 trebles, but you can see this one needs to be worked, this one, but this one doesn't. Okay, that acts as a treble already. If you remember that from the last round, that our 3 chain acts as a treble. Okay, so I'm working across, in I go, and I'm going to close the round, and I need to get up into the top, 1, 2, 3, and close it with a slip stitch. Chain up 3, and off I go for my next round. Now I need to get over to the corner, and to do that we have to work into the trebles, okay? So I'm already after making a 3 chain which acts as a treble, and I need to get over to the corner, so I'm going to work in to those trebles at the top. Okay, yarn around, in, and yarn around through 2, yarn around through 2. Okay, and now I'm over in my corner, and I'm going to do my 2 treble, 2 chain, 1, 2, 2 treble into the corner. So every corner has 2 treble, 2 chain, 2 treble. That's not going to change. The start of every round will have a chain 3. That's not going to change. And then we'll be working across the trebles. The amount of trebles will increase in each row that we've created. So you can see it there starting off. So this was our first row, and then it increased in the second row, okay? And then the third row, you can see that they're increasing as we're working through the rows, the amount of trebles that you have to create, okay? And that's how it goes. It's usually, I think it's two extra in every row every time you're working a row is what you create, okay? So you keep working in that fashion all the way around. So we're going to continue on now. And again, remember I said, you know, we need to get over to this corner. So make sure you work all the trebles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, okay, and 7. Make sure you work all of those. And I'm just looking back there now to make sure that I've worked all the trebles. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 2, my 2 chain, my 2 treble, and now off I go, working across to the next corner, okay, with my trebles. This is the one, I think this is the most important one not to forget, the one right after your corner space, that first treble. Because if you miss that, I think that's what will happen when you're a beginner. If you miss that one, and if you miss the connecting back here with your count, you know, you've 1, 2, and you'll see that again when we come around. I'll explain it again. I think they're the kind of 2 key things to remember when you're making your square. Okay, and off you go, and keep going, okay? And I'm going to work around doing the exact same thing now until I get back, I'm going to keep doing that same thing. Don't forget your corners, and working across the tops of your trebles to your corner, make a corner, and I'm going to meet you here, and we're going to close out that round, okay, and see how you get on. Now here we are, and we are going to close that round, okay? Here we are, these are the trebles we have to work across. Don't forget this one, okay? That's the one, as I said, that's the one that you have to kind of remember at the end. Well, not at the end, but as you're working around, It's always after you've made the corner to remember that very first treble. Okay, and this is the last treble there, here. You can see that, okay, in we go. Now we're going to close this round the exact same way. 1, 2, 3, into the top and close your round. Now if I lay this down flat for you, okay, another thing that might help you in your, as you're counting along. So if you hold your corners, okay, in each round, and you should have the same amount of trebles between each corner. So if these are the first 2 corners, okay, that I'm holding, you can count your trebles across in a straight row. So count them and make sure you have the same as you're moving around in each row around. Okay, and if you don't, you'll know that you've probably missed one, and the one that you've usually missed is that one that we're talking about right after your corner. That's usually the one that you've missed. If you don't have the same amount going from each corner to corner, you've probably missed one along the way. That's all trial and error when you're a complete beginner, so don't worry a bit about that. So off we go again for our last round. I chained up 3 and I am working across now to my first corner again. So each row it just increases the amount of trebles that you have to make between your corners, okay, to create your solid block. So I'm already in here. You can see that there. I'm coming straight up here. So I'm working in this treble next. Again, if you can't see it, look down on it. Okay, and off we go. Treble, treble. So a treble is yarn around your hook. In you go. 3 loops on your hook, around, through 2, around, through 2. Okay, and don't forget this last little fella either. Here we go. And back to our corner, 2 treble, 2 chain, and off we go again, finishing this row. Okay, so I'll take you through the first 2 there now again. So 1 and 1 more. And then you're on your own till you get all the way back around here, and we'll close it off and then you can see it clearly. So we've made another corner. So look, we've just worked our next row of trebles across into the corner. Need to get over here. So we're going to work all the way, this one, don't forget this little fella, all the way across till we get to the corner. And when you work at the end of the row, again, if you're not sure, if you're saying to yourself, I don't know whether I go in here or do I or don't I, it's just hold it in your hand, hold the block in your hand and hold the 2 corners and count your stitches across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you know you have to make 11 treble crochets to get to this corner if you're not sure, okay? That might help you. Obviously it'll be less in the previous round and it'll increase in the next round. Okay, so just to get started again on your final row for your practice square, in we go to the first one, which was this guy, and off we go again, work away, and I will meet you back around here for closing off. Okay, and here we are, finished all the way back, and all we do is close the round again into the top of our 3 chain. Okay, hold it out and just catch it. Make sure you catch 2 loops. It's going out of focus there. Make sure you catch the 2 loops of that chain. Okay, and pull up your tail like so, and you're going to cut it off as usual, and then you can secure it in. Okay, just tie it off in a knot just to make sure it's secure, and then you're going to weave in the tail just to secure it. So this one is secured because we crocheted it in at the very start, so you can just cut that off, and then your darning needle or whatever you use, okay, and then you can just, of course it doesn't want to go in when you want it, to go in. So you just secure it in then, and all you're going to do, I'll try my best. Third time lucky. The wool is quite thick actually. Well, I'll blame the wool. It's probably my technique. Now, come on. Gotcha. So have it there now, okay? And then just weave it, okay, through a couple, up and down like this. Bring it across, a good few of them, in and out, just catching them in and out, make sure. And then just bring it through. Okay, like so. Now, if you were making individual squares, either of the kind of traditional granny style, or this is a solid granny, and we'll work our way through the different kind of granny squares as the weeks go on. So if you're wanting to make a blanket or a project for yourself and you're wanting to do individual squares, my advice is work your tails in when you're finished each square. It saves you a whole lot of heartache and extra work. So if you imagine now if you had 50 of these and you had all the tails, and believe me, I've done that before, because sometimes I like to take the easy way out, the lazy way out, I suppose. And then at the end, not alone do you have to put them all together, but then you have to start weaving in tails individually. So if you have them all done and you have your squares all nice and neat, ready to go, then you're just left with the joy of joining them together to make your blanket. Again, individual squares if you want, or work it as one full square, continuing as wide as you want. And then you could change into different colours if you wanted also. And I think if you look back through the V-stitch, I showed you how to introduce a change of colour. So this is our solid granny square tutorial for this week. So get practicing. Very easy and quite addictive once you get the hang of it, to be honest. And enjoy it, and use whatever wool that you have in your stash just for practicing. So keep going, ladies. You're doing great work. See you all soon.